My name is Amalinda Savirani. I'm a professor at Universitas Gadjah Mada, Political Science. Currently, I am in Yogyakarta, Indonesia, and talking to you. Indonesia is the largest Muslim country in the world, as well as the largest or the third largest democracy after United States of America and India. 80% of our populations are Muslim, and this make Indonesia is very unique. How democracy and Islam get together. So basically, they are all good. Islamic principle get along really well with our ideology of Pancasila or the five fundaments. Almost 30 years ago, Indonesia entered the new era of democracy, and we call it the era of reformasi. Compared to the previous era of Suharto, where civil liberties was constrained, political rights are just a formal way to exercise rights, military dominations in politics. In the new era, we can manage to improve many of the political institutions. For example, we have one every 5 years election with participants coming from different kind of parties. We have multi-party systems. Participation also getting more meaningful, more substantial, not just attending the election booth. Civic space expanded, military roles also limited. So it's very, very good. And but last but not least, we also have a 30% affirmative action for women leaderships in the parliament. We aim parties to having their candidate in amount of 30% so the women can manage or can also compete in the elections. But after almost 30 years since 1998 reformasi era, our political or our democracy is facing kind of deteriorating quality. Um, we still have elections, but there has been dominations of political elites, the rich people, and what we call it oligarchy power at place. Economically, the richer getting richer and the poorer getting poorer, showing from the number of increasing number of Gini index that Indonesia have over the past 5 or 10 years. So things getting really difficult both economically and politically. This is particularly the case over the past 10 years after during the leadership of Joko Widodo, our president. And it's getting worse since the last election in 2024, where we elect our president Prabowo Subianto, the former retired general and special force during a new order. Our current vice president is the son of Joko Widodo, so we are not really happy what we have, what our leadership right now. But not just about leadership, but also the policies that they have issues over the past years. As I mentioned, economically things not getting well, and politically civic space is getting shrinking. uh, uh, Civil liberties that used to be guaranteed by law is at age. Um, a lot of marginalization of poor community under the pretext of growth, even though our growth is not that stable. Um, so this really make people angry. Uh, Last August, at the end of August, couple of months ago, young people, young citizens went into street, exercise street demonstrations, protesting the government on what they have done so far in terms of economic and politics. The scale of the demonstration is quite wide. It's not just at the capital city that used to be the center of student activities and activities, but it has also spread to provincial town. You can really see how things getting wider in terms of grief and in terms of being upset to what the government has done in terms of their policy. So, but different from Nepal, where the young citizen managed to topple down the regime, Indonesian young activists most of them are in jail now. While I'm speaking now, there are young people, 1,000 of them are still facing criminal charges from the police because of accused that they basically disrupt the public facilities and public space. Which is basically the core of democracy principle of having freedom of expressions in public space, but now it is being limited. So this is a very ironic, different from Myanmar and Thailand, where the deteriorating or the backsliding of democracy caused by the coup of the military. In Indonesia, authoritarian regime is the result of democracy. Democracy being used in terms of rule of law to push back the authoritarian style of leadership. And this is what I mean by very ironic. Apart from that political dimension, Islam, as I mentioned, is very important in the way democracy works in Indonesia. Islam and democracy in Indonesia never been in positions. It's always been in harmony. Well, some of them sometimes it's a bit tense, but in general, Islam politics represented by two most largest organization of Muhammadiyah and NU. And there never been any clash with our ideology of Pancasila. In everyday life, mosques also play important roles in citizens' life. Mosque is a place beyond worship place. It's also a hub of economy. It's also a place where redistribution through alms or zakat distributed. The beneficiary are the people living around the mosque. And it's not just in one place, it's spread all over. So we are basically talking about the everyday life of Islam, democracy, and mosque in Indonesia. And the role of mosque is very, very important, and it now beyond religious activities. I think that's all. Thank you for listening. Terima kasih.